circumnavigating the globe. In addition, this node has been conducting several ocean-going expeditions, both within India and abroad. Expeditions to Sri Lanka, Seychelles, Mauritius, South Africa, and Brazil were standout successes. The visits were received enthusiastically both by the host country and the Indian diaspora. To date, the node has trained 126 officers, including 25 women in ocean sailing, and has received 1 Kirti Chakra, 1 Shaurya Chakra, and 7 Nausena medals. Our vessels, INSV Tarini and INSV Mandovi, both which were constructed in Goa, have proved their seaworthiness across the oceans in various sea states and wind conditions. In 2021, Indian Navy initiated yet another groundbreaking plan for a woman officer to circumnavigate the globe. Lieutenant Commander Dilna K and Lieutenant Commander Rupa A were selected out of 17 volunteers Pan-Navy after a rigorous selection process. Since the selection, they have been part of various sailing expeditions, which included being part of Kochi to Goa ocean sailing race, sailing from Goa to Visakhapatnam and back as part of the President's Fleet Review, and the expedition to Mauritius and back. Soon after the return from Mauritius in October 22, INSV Tarini undertook a refit in Goa Shipyard Limited. 2 officers were completely involved themselves in the preparation of the vessels and for the next expedition. On 17 November 22, INS Tarini set sail from the Indian coast for the expedition that had 2 phases: Goa to Rio de Janeiro via Cape Town and the return phase. The point to highlight here was that Lieutenant Commander Dilna and Lieutenant Commander Rupa were part of both the phases, whereas the male crew members were turned around at Rio de Janeiro. During the expedition, they experienced heavy weather, sea states up to 6 and 7, winds gusting up to 60 knots, material breakdowns, damages to sail, experiencing heavy cyclones. These challenges were successfully handled by the crew and ensured safe return of the boat after covering more than 17,000 miles in 188 days. The completion of the expedition marks an important milestone in Navy's plan to send a woman officer around the world. Henceforth, these women officers would be practicing in dual mode, followed by solo mode of sailing before they take on Navika Sagar Parikrama 2. So in a way, the expedition is not an end. It is start to the next phase of training for the mega event. At this juncture, I wish to thank Goa Shipyard Limited for going out of their way to ensure Tarini was ready to sail on schedule despite tight timeline. All departments of Goa government have been very forthcoming whenever we have sought certain sanctions. All units of GNA, Commandant Naval War College and IFA Goa have extended timely financial advice and sanction for cases in timely manner. Headquarters Southern Naval Command has extended continuous support during the refit and after Tarini set sail. IHQ Navy, MOD Navy has worked overtime to provide requisite sanctions for the expedition and coordinated all administrative arrangements at the foreign port. I conclude by saying that the circumnavigation by the women officers is in the line by the way shown up by our Chief of Naval Staff. Dream big and achieve big. And I would like to state here that whenever I have thrown a challenge to these women officers, they would proudly reply, "Hum taiyar hain." Jai Hind. May I now request Admiral R. Harikumar, Chief of Naval Staff, to address the gathering.
Shri Pramod Sawantji, Chief Minister of Goa, Srimati Smriti Irani, Honorable Union Minister of Women and Child Development, Commander Abhilash Tommy, FOCNC South, Flag Officers, Admiral KB Singh, former Chief of Naval Staff, the valiant officers, the valiant crew of INSV Tarini who are present here, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. It's with a deep sense of pride that I welcome the Honorable Chief Minister and the Union Minister to this momentous flagging ceremony of INSV Tarini. Back from what she does best, that is face the winds, brace the storms, ride the waves, and proudly fly the Tiranga across the oceans. We also have here with us Ms. Rani Rampal, who is the former captain of the Indian women's hockey team, present here. Thank you for gracing the occasion. Tarini literally means she who frees, and that she has done in many ways. She has freed all those who sailed on board from their inhibitions, taking them from the journey of can I, or of course I can and I will, and freed the intrinsic sailor spirit resident in the Navy by providing a channel to express ourselves, exploring the unknown, and finding new shores. She has freed and boosted Nari Shakti, the Government of India initiative. The all-women crew circumnavigation in 2017 was a living testimony of what they can achieve. And mind you, Tarini is also one of the names of Goddess Durga as well. Finally and most importantly, Tarini is freeing our nation from sea blindness to usher in an era of maritime consciousness with linkages from our vibrant historic past and the economic prosperity that had brought in that time, wherein, following the footsteps of the government, our citizens should be able to take to the seas to reach out to the world, be it commerce, culture, connect, co-prosperity, trade, adventure, sports, resources, livelihood, or even providing maritime safety and security at sea. Shri Pramod Savanji, it is not a coincidence that Tarini secures alongside here in Goa, firstly because she was built here as was brought out in these pristine lands by Aquarius Shipyard, and therefore this is an apt homecoming for her. Secondly, Goa is also a melting pot of India's maritime heritage, and now a land that is catapulting our Indian Navy's growth. A lot of our ships are under construction in Goa Shipyard Limited. The launch of the goods catamaran Timavari to be built in Goa by the Honorable Chief Minister yesterday is another testimony to the thrust towards Atmanirbharta in the maritime domain, and the Navy is committed to becoming an Atmanirbhar force by 2047. And Srimati Smriti Irani ji, I must highlight that true to her feminine character, INSV Tarini had two of her finest women crew being trained for the solo circumnavigation in the future, and their act will add another chapter in the glorious story of Nari Shakti that is unfolding in India. And to the crew of Tarini, I have admired every image and video of yours. One could feel the strong camaraderie among you and an equally strong sense of getting the job done, all with a smile on your face, the sheer joy of sailing. And I think, which was the common thread that bound you together, your stories which will inspire many young minds to take up this challenge of sailing in India. And let me tell you, life at sea is very tough. You would have heard of Admiral Mahan, the famous naval strategist who wrote The Influence of Sea Power Upon History, who's read widely among maritime experts. It is said that he had remarked, what a beastly thing a ship is, and what a fool a man is who frequents one, let alone women. So he was, of course, quite seasick, and he was just trying to portray how difficult life is at sea. So life on a ship also at the same time brings out the best in most people. It brings out true friendships that are established under the challenging conditions that we face at sea. And Tarini's voyage is one of the many waypoints that we as a Navy and a nation have traversed towards becoming a global powerhouse of ocean sailing. So be it the solo circumnavigation by then Commander Donde in 2009-10, he is here, Donde. Nice to meet you. Followed by Commander Abhilash Tommy, his feat of solo non-stop sailing in 2012-13, or the iconic Navika Sagar Parikrama in 2017 with only women crew on board. However, 2023 has been very special. Commander Abhilash Tommy, who is now a naval veteran, made history to be the first Indian, or for that matter the only Asian, to finish and take the podium in the longest endurance race on the planet, the Golden Globe race. His 236 days long solo, non-stop, unassisted journey of the oceans without modern navigational aids has been a story of stellar comebacks. And that too after a debilitating accident at sea in the previous edition of the Golden Globe race in 2017. Abhilash, you are an inspiration for our citizens, and the wake of your yacht may look very small, but its impact, I can assure you, is monumental. It's a story of unremitting courage, relentless determination, outstanding professionalism, and iconic inspiration to every Indian. My compliments also to all those who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make Tarini's voyage to Rio and back via the Cape of Good Hope a successful one. And apart from the voyage, the cross-deck sailings in Brazil as well as the interactions at South Africa were equally well thought of, well planned and executed. So before I conclude, my gratitude once again to the Honorable Chief Minister and the Union Minister to have spared your valuable time to be part of this great moment, a matter of great pride for all of us in the Navy and all those who have participated in this expedition. Your kind presence is a big morale booster for all these maritime enthusiasts and endorses the support of both the national as well as the state leadership. Thank you. Jai Hind. Shanno Varan.
It is now my proud privilege to invite Srimati Smriti Irani, Honorable Union Minister of Women and Child Development, to grace the audience.
Chief Minister Goa, Dr. Pramod Sawant, Chief of Naval Staff, Admiral Hari Kumar, Commander in Charge, Vice Admiral Hambi Piloli, former CNS, Admiral KB Singh, Captain Dilip Donde, Commander Abhilash Tommy, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. It is not often one has an opportunity to witness history. And today, my gratitude to Chief for allowing me to witness that history. History which, as an inspirational story and journey, is something that will find resonance with every citizen of our country, especially young women and girls who look at the Indian Navy for an opportunity to serve national interests. To deviate from the seriousness of the ceremony, let me join Rani Rampal to call out a few names. It was made incumbent upon me as a female politician to give thanks and celebrate the potential of female naval officers. And to my dismay, I saw the men have wrinkled faces as to why they were left out of the salutations. And hence, before announcing the name of the female officers, I would here proudly like to give thanks to Captain Atul Sinha, Lieutenant Commander Ashutosh Sharma, Sub-Lieutenant Aviral Keshav for the journey from Goa to Rio, the second crew from Rio to Goa, Commander Nikhil Hegde, Commander Abhishek Doke, Commander Zulfikar, Commander Purohit. Our gratitude as women representatives of this country for the steadfastness with which you have supported two of the most exemplary female officers, Lieutenant Commander Dilna and Lieutenant Commander Rupa, in their first amongst many historic journeys. This is not a celebration of Abhilash Tommy's story. This is not a day to celebrate Captain Dilip Donde. But these two men deserve a special mention for the alacrity with which they met challenges. I had the pleasure of meeting the family of Commander Tommy, and I asked them, what gives you the courage to send your family back to sea? That Abhilash was more than happy to run back is a story for another time. But today is also a day to give thanks to family and friends that have supported these adventures at sea. I have, in all humility, requested Chief Minister Goa that let the Goa story with regards to the Indian Navy not be reduced to just one adventure on INS Tarini. Let Goa become the global hub for Indian sailing and competitive sailing at that. Since I have the privilege of speaking before him and putting him in a political dock, I can here confirm that the Chief Minister has been more than supportive of the idea in the presence of the Naval Chief. Hence, if it is not to fly from here, the one who proposed the idea is not at fault. You know where the fault may lie. One of the greatest misfortunes of the media blitz in our country is that stories such as Tarini are told only on the day of the event or only on the day where the crew meets the media. These are stories that need to be told over and over again, for they are an inspiration not only to the generation that is present today, but a generation that is past and a generation that is yet to come. And hence, as Minister Women and Child Development, I am happy to share that we in the ministry will make an effort to ensure that the story of circumnavigators of the Indian Navy are stories that are told across 13,90,000 Anganwadis in our country, so that young children can be inspired by stories of struggle and stories where challenges have been met with much fortitude. In my time spent in conversing with Chief, I had an additional request. We see the exemplary contribution done by Lieutenant Commander Rupa and Lieutenant Commander Dilna. But this is not a contribution or a volunteer activity we hope is limited to just a few women in the Indian Navy. How do we encourage more and more young girls towards national service through the Indian Navy? And I'm happy to announce that the Chief has been kind enough to tell me that in collaboration with the Indian Navy, my ministry can eke out a special skills initiative for young women, especially in coastal areas of India, so that they can be taught not only of the opportunities that can be availed in the Indian Naval Services, but also opportunities other than the Indian Navy that our oceans provide today. On a lighter note, Chief, I am told by one of the female officers, that too in the presence of Commander Hegde, that one of the gentlemen officers on board deliberately tended to cook badly so that other officers had to make do with that particular service. I think that is a skill set maybe a few men in the Indian Navy could make do with, so that women officers are not always compelled to comply. I can see one of the Navy wives stare at her officer husband, and I know who the culprit is. And on a lighter note, when I was sitting here listening to Chief and to Prashant, I was happy to note and specially introduced to the Indian version of Tom Cruise and Top Gun. Mercifully, sir, you are better dressed than Tom Cruise, and mercifully, your service is far more exemplary. These are services, stories of courage, stories of grace, and stories of fortitude. that every Indian is not only proud of but also grateful for. So today, Tarini and team, welcome back home. Welcome back so that you can set sail again. And the Indian Navy, thank you for your glorious service, your sacrifice for the country. Jai Hind.
Thank you for your inspiring words, ma'am. May I now request Dr. Pramod Sawant, Honorable Chief Minister of Goa, to address the gathering.
For the flagging ceremony of the Tarini, along with me, Madam Smriti Irani, Admiral Harikumar ji, and the rest of the dignitaries among the audience. Let me congratulate first the Captain Atul Sinha, Lieutenant Commander Ashutosh Sharma, Lieutenant Aviral Kishan, Commander Dhoke, Commander Nikhil Hegde, Lieutenant Commander Dilna, Lieutenant Commander Rupa, Commander Divya Purohit, and Commander Zulfikar. Congratulations and once again welcome back to the state of Goa. For the historically the seafaring skills in India is heavily renowned right from the Southeast Asia to the Arab lands. Goa has had the long tradition of sending the marine across the globe, and having today the large number of the youth contributes to the growth of the maritime marine and spreading the rich Goan tradition the world over. I find it interesting that somehow all the famous ocean, whether it is Captain Dilip Dhonde, Captain Abhilash Tomy, and of the present era, they find the sloke of the setting down in Goa. And we are also the proud that it is in Navika Sagar Parikrama, the 6 months, the women naval officers was flagged off and the flagged in from the same jetty. It is in courageous determination the display by the crews of the INS Tarini, especially the Lieutenant Commander Dilna K and Lieutenant Commander Rupa, has been extremely inspiring for the people of India, particularly that of Goa. And the achievement of the 2 women officers will be remembered for the long time. And seeing and determination in them, I am sure, and they will bring more laurels to the country. And we have also fortunate that the sailboat Tarini and Madai, and which have been navigated through the every kind of the weather and returned back with her crew safe here, and which is constructed in our own state, Goa, and which is the shining examples of the skills and competency of the Goa shipyards and Goa shipbuilding in future. And there is also more things in the common between the modern sailing culture of the Goa and expeditionary sailing being undertaken by the Indian Navy. And that is the legendary naval officers, Admiral M.P. Auti, and it was the dream to send the Indian across the sea, and it is in circumambulate to globe. And for the Goans, and it is fondly remembered as one of founding members of the Goa Yachting Associations. Following with this dream of the hard workings of our sailors, Mr. Katya Coelho and Advati Menon, and for the small state of the Goa will be representing the Indian and the Asian Games of 2023 in IQ the foil, the female and LCA the 4 male categories are respectively. I congratulate the Commander Nikhil Hegde, the skipper and the crew of the INS Tarini of the successfully completion of the expedition. I would like to share here with the women officers that you have next mission. The road to success is though it is, and it will be take lot of courage, determination and mental strength and to overcome the hurdles that present themselves. And enrollment, my best wishes for the Indian Navy and the 2 women officers who are the next phase for the project of the Navika Sagar Parikrama. Again, I welcome the suggestions of Madam Smriti Irani ji. Whatever the support in future also required for the Indian Navy, the Goa government is ready for the adventure expeditions in future also. Once again, congratulations for all the naval officers. Thank you, one and all.
request Flag Officer Commanding-in-Chief, Southern Naval Command, to accompany Chief of the Naval Staff, Honorable Union Minister, Honorable Chief Minister of Goa, and Miss Rani Rampal to the stage for felicitation. May I now request Srimati Smriti Irani to felicitate the crew of INSV Tarini. Captain Atul Sinha, who is an Asian Games silver medalist and has won numerous medals at national and international sailing championships. Lieutenant Commander Ashutosh Sharma. Lieutenant Aviral Keshav. From the return leg, we have Commander Divya Purohit. Commander Abhishek Doke. Commander M.A. Zulfikar. Commander Nikhil Hegde. Lieutenant Commander Rupa A. Lieutenant Commander Dilna K. May I now request Admiral R. Hari Kumar, Chief of the Naval Staff, to felicitate the esteemed sports personalities. Mr. Bruno Coutinho, who is an Indian footballer and an Arjuna Award winner hailing from Goa. Ms. Katya Coelho is a 10 times national gold medalist and the first Indian to qualify at the Youth Olympics in 2014 and again in 2023. Master Advait Menon is a 6-time national medalist and has qualified for the Asian Games 2023. Captain Dilip Donde is the first Indian to successfully complete a solo circumnavigation in 2009. Lieutenant Commander Pratibha Jamwal, member of the Navika Sagar Parikrama and Nari Shakti Puraskar awardee. May I now request Dr. Pramod Sawant to felicitate our one and only Commander Abhilash Tommy. He holds the distinction of being the first Indian to complete a solo, non-stop circumnavigation in 2012. He has also finished second in the 2022 Golden Globe race and has become the first Asian to do so. May I now request Miss Rani Rampal to felicitate Captain Dilip Donde. And Lieutenant Commander Pratibha Jamwal. May I now request Chief of the Naval Staff to felicitate the Honorable Ministers. Honorable Union Minister, and Honorable Chief Minister of Goa. May I now request Vice Admiral M.A. Hampiholi, Flag Officer Commanding-in-Chief, Southern Naval Command, to felicitate Admiral R. Hari Kumar, Chief of the Naval Staff. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much, sir. May I now request Admiral R. Hari Kumar to felicitate Miss Rani Rampal, who is an accomplished Indian field hockey player and an awardee of Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award.